Are we live? Okay. All right. I want to welcome all of you. We had a feeling we have a small but mighty turnout today. This is for County Board, Peoria County Board, District 2. And I want to welcome all of you and to our two candidates. We are live streaming and it will be up on our YouTube channel afterwards, so you can go back or you can tell your friends, hey, you should have been at that forum. You can watch it on YouTube and see what's going on. Okay, so the League is, for those who may not know, the League is a nonpartisan organization, not bipartisan, nonpartisan. We endorse no candidates or favor any political party. We do, the purpose of the League is to promote political responsibility through the informed and active participation of citizens in government. Providing this forum allows citizens to become better informed about the issues facing their community and to become better acquainted with the candidates running for office. We're happy to provide this service to the community, and the League of Women Voters is not responsible for verifying the accuracy of the statements that candidates make in this forum. The League does take positions on issues after an in-depth study. Certainly, once a specific position is taken, it may appear partisan to some people because they don't necessarily agree with the position taken. But again, the League never takes positions on nor endorses any candidates ever. The League is a membership organization, so we're only as strong as our members. If you're not a member, please consider joining us. We are open to anyone over the age of 16. That includes men. And our current president, Terry Coles, is here. He is our current president. And he is definitely not a woman, right? I've had a problem with that. Okay. We hope you'll come away from this forum with more knowledge about these candidates and their positions. Providing voter education is a major part of what the League provides. You can view this forum and others by going to the YouTube channel for the League of Women Voters of Greater Peoria. And for more information about voting and positions of candidates that'll be on the ballot on November 8th, please go to the IllinoisVotersGuide.org. No spaces, IllinoisVotersGuide.org. Okay, I'd like to introduce you to our moderator, Russ Crawford, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Irene. Good evening. I'd like to add my welcome to Irene's. Tonight's candidates for the office of Peoria County Board District 2 are Camille Coles and Jorell Glass. Did I pronounce those correctly?
Coates.
Thank
yes.
you. I'm glad I asked that. Jorell, they've drawn. We've played some poker, and Jorell will go first with the opening statement, followed by Camille, and then we'll alternate on answering questions, and then we'll switch for the closing statement. Jorell will go first, and Camille will go second. So they'll both have a shot at first. A couple of sort of guidelines. Please turn off your cell phones. Please do not applaud or talk or unwrap noisy wrappers or anything that'll take away from the time of the candidates. The candidates will have 2 minutes for an opening statement. Each candidate will have 1.5 minutes to answer each question, and then we'll rotate, and then each candidate will have 2 minutes for the closing statement. And maybe you'll get home in time to watch the gubernatorial candidates. We have timers. Wave the paddles if you got those. There we go. And they'll hold up the paddle to indicate how many seconds are remaining. And the stop paddle will, like that one, will tell you to stop talking for you guys. For the audience, we have question collectors. And if you're real shy, I have a few county board questions already made, so we won't be without questions, but we'd like to encourage you to ask questions. Please wave your hand if you got a question, and we've got people that will pick those up. The questions sometimes will be read, or sometimes they'll be combined, or sometimes they'll be sort of redesigned, if you will, so we can get the most bang for the buck from the questions for the candidates. All the questions we use will be answered by both candidates. So if you're writing one, don't say, well, this is just for Camille or this is just for Jorell, because both will be able to answer all questions. The candidates, if I ask a question, and most of these are brief because I've sort of redesigned them, but some are still a little long. If you need me to repeat a question, just indicate and I'll do that. Thanks to the League of Women Voters, the candidates, for showing up, and the audience. So let's begin. Okay, we'll start with opening statement, and Jorell, you are first.
Thank you. First, I would like to just thank the League of Women Voters for the invitation, the hospitality. Thank you all for coming out this evening. I am Jorell Glass. I'm also affectionately known as Mr. Glass. I am your local entrepreneur. I am a business owner, a business starter, a job builder, opportunity giver. That is what I do. I am a husband. I am a father. Today, my wife and I, we make our first year anniversary today. So we're kind of multitasking this evening as well. So I thank my wife for showing up as well, for her support. I'm a believer. My values permeate every aspect of my life. Even being a business owner, the business we have a social responsibility. So with my school or my endeavors, there's always a social aspect to it, to improve, go beyond just making money, but to serve the community at large, to build better people, to leave Peoria a better place than what I found it. I am Mr. Glass.
Very good. Camille?
Great.
Opening statement.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to, of course, thank you all for the invitation, the opportunity to be able to participate, and thank you to all who are attending, listening, and watching. So I am Camille Coates, and I am running for Peoria County Board District 2. First, let me share with you who Camille Coates is. I am first and foremost a proud mother of two amazing kids, 22 and 17. 22-year-old just graduated from college in May, so pretty excited about that. I am not only that, but I am a fiance, a sister, an aunt, a cousin, a goddaughter, a dear friend, and a mentor to many, and sometimes I don't even realize it, and that's really important to me. I am a senior sales representative for Eli Lilly. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 20 years, so you may see me driving around a lot in the community as well. The question probably next is, why am I running? You know, I'm a native Peorian, born and raised and educated right here in Central Illinois. Started out as a Catholic schoolgirl, St. Boniface, went to Manual High School, graduated from Illinois Central College, and graduated from Bradley University. I believe in our neighborhoods. I believe in our community. I believe in what we represent and what we can be. I have participated in many different areas of functions. I'm currently a liquor commissioner for the city of Peoria. I've been on many boards and committees serving the community as well. This seat is really important to me because it's my goddad's seat, Junior Watkins, and part of Andrew Rand's as well. So I'm excited to be able to hopefully fill those big shoes. And I'm excited to be able to be here and participate and hopefully serve the community as a county board District 2, Camille Coates.
Thank you, Camille.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll start with questions, and we'll start with Camille and then go to Jorell. The first question is, what are three most important issues in either District 2 or the county, and what's your plan to address those issues?
Great question. The first thing I think is the most important for District 2 is obviously safety. And how I would like to address those is I have been participating in the Citizen Leadership Academy. I've also actually reached out to many of the city leaders and specifically like the council member for District 2, some of the large members as well, to see what resources and services and, what plans they have for the area as well. I've really got a good opportunity to speak with the police chief and hear about some of the things that he's interested in. The other thing is we know that there's an issue with the food desert in District 2 as well. I've looked at like the Market 309 program, and hopefully maybe attempt to expand that program into other areas of District 2. And then, of course, we look at housing, because along comes with a food desert is we need affordable housing and homes because we need to be able to increase that population because we've lost a lot of that population in District 2. So those are the three things that I feel are top priority. And I feel like that there's a lot of services that are out there. We just need to be able to collaborate and communicate and work together.
Thank you, Camille. Jorell?
Do you mind rephrasing the?
I will
Please and
be
thank
glad to. What are the three most important issues in either District 2 or the county, and what is your plan to address them?
The three focal points or the most important issues facing District 2 in particular would be economic development, food deserts, and trade development. With economic development, we understand this. When there are strong, small business sectors in a city, in a community, it offsets the tax burden on property owners. So as we develop strong, small businesses, it gives dignity to the people in the community, District 2. Also, the food desert issue. There's an alarm. When there's not healthy or good grocery stores, it is a health food crisis. When there are no whole foods, fruits, only chips and bad food options, it affects everybody. So my last one would be trades. I'm a barber instructor. I have a barber school. My theory is this: if we can put clippers in young people's hands, maybe they won't pick up pistols.
Thank you, Jorell. And now, Jorell, we'll start with you. Second question is, what specifically qualifies you to hold a position on the Peoria County Board? What education or experiences have you had that would help prepare you to serve?
Good question. What qualifies me for the position of County Board Member District 2 is my business experience. I've been in business for over 10 years now. I've been a business owner and dealt with multiple municipalities. So being able to deal with different municipalities, to be a business starter, to have a staff, payroll, I understand business. I understand economic development. So going into the Peoria County Board member role, of course, I'm fighting for businesses. I'm also have the community connections to the point where I can talk to people across the aisle and build relationships so we can build a better District 2.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille, same question.
My experience overall would be an asset to this position. Since 2014, I was appointed as a liquor commissioner for the city of Peoria by Mayor Artis. I understand how it is to navigate that political arena. I've also served on various committees and boards servicing the area and the community and the youth within our community as well. What's important to me is to continue as well that strong leadership that my predecessors have already set. So when we talk about what Junior Watkins has done in District 2 and what Andrew Rand has done and for those heritage neighborhoods to keep that sustainable and continue the development therefore and then on as well. And I want to be a strong voice. And I feel that I have those relationships established. I'm very well versed in some of the organizations and the services that are offered now. I know it's a learning curve, but I want to hit the ground running. And I feel, everybody else wants to say we got to reinvent the wheel, but I don't think we have to always do that. We just need to talk and collaborate and work together. And I think that even though it may not be a straight county service, that there is a way for us to be able to work with some of those services out there and connect the people together to make it happen.
Thank you very much,
Mhm.
Camille. Jorell? The next question is, well, actually, Camille, will stay with you. You start. And the third question is, the primary work of the county board is usually conducted, the heavy lifting is done in committees, and then approved by a whole board. So which committees would you be most interested in serving in and why?
And I've thought long and hard about this, and actually I've had some recommendations as well, just because of the assets that I bring to the table. One of the committees that I'm interested in is help to increase the minority hiring. And I think it's great that the county has just actually hired a diversity and inclusion and equity officer. So I hope to be able to work in that aspect with them. So that probably falls somewhere under the operations committee. Also the fact that I've been in the healthcare industry as a pharmaceutical rep for over 20 years. We all know that the cost of healthcare is continually rising for the employees of the county. So hopefully I can bring some sense of some foundational information or just resources in areas to help combat that problem as well, which is also would be in the operations area as well. And then I would serve on whichever committees that the county feels that, what I can bring is a strong suit and wherever the need may be. So, but those are the areas that I look at first and foremost.
Thanks, Camille. Jorell?
With what I bring to the table, I look at economic development, number one, and safety, public safety. With economic development on these boards, we're able to connect the dots between the county and the city. What I've done thus far is I've gone into different municipalities and had to basically sell the business to communities that it was non-existent. So to be able to do so, I want to work with committees that are about economic development, business development for minorities exclusively, also public safety. There's an issue of recidivism within our legal system, penal system here in Peoria exclusively. There are a large amount of African-American men that continuously go back into this system time and time again. What if there were solutions to create change, to disrupt the patterns of going back into trouble? What if we gave them trades? As on these boards, I can kind of say, okay, let's offer different programs to prevent these young men from repeating these same cycles.
Thank you, Jorell. Jorell, will stay with you. The fourth question is sort of, there's an issue with the Peoria County Auditor and the County Board. So I'll just read this. Peoria County voters 2 years ago voted to keep an independently elected county auditor in Peoria County. Do you support the current board's filing again of an auditor referendum for the November 8th ballot to eliminate the auditor that the people of Peoria County just said 2 years ago they wanted to keep? Why would you support it, or why not? Thanks.
I have the utmost respect for Jessica Thomas. She made history. So with her making history, I believe that it could have been handled a bit differently. The vote is the vote. Majority voted against it. If I was on the board, I would have definitely voted against it. I did not agree with eliminating her office. Even in the event of her office being taken away, or for whatever the reason may have been, it could have been presented in a more palatable fashion to the community. She made history. So there's a little girl somewhere saying, you know what happened to Jessica Thomas? What happened? She just made history, and now the same, community that voted her, it's like their votes are non-existent. and that's unacceptable. So as a county board member, District 2, I will be that little voice, that strong voice to say, you know what, I don't agree. I can't agree, and possibly give a fresh perspective in how we can communicate difficult topics.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille, same question?
Yes. I look at it as there is a process, and serving as a liquor commissioner, there's a process that we follow. Unfortunately, you can't tie the position in a personal aspect. So what I would ask is to be allowed to, if I were a board member, to receive all the information from both sides, because we don't have all the information. We're not privy to that. A lot of it was done in executive session, but I would be able to receive information from both sides, give the opportunity to review the information, also have the opportunity to ask additional questions if I need to be able to come to a sort of a agreement or disagreement with any type of a situation. And you can check that with my track record of voting for the Liquor Commission. So at the end of the day, the county obviously has the opportunity to add referendums to the ballots, but it is up to the constituents to make that decision on whether or not it is a agree or a disagree. I do have some challenges with the timing of it. Knowing that there's still a 2-year portion of her term left. But I also, would like to be able to have an opportunity. Then I would ask you to respect my decision. That is part of the position of being a county board representative, and just let the constituents make that opportunity to have their voices heard.
Thank you, Camille. We'll stay with you with the next one. And speaking of auditor, I'll go right into theft. And the question says, considering the $50 million of theft that was stolen in Dixon, Illinois, in Lee County, what gives you the confidence that the funds that Peoria County receives are sufficiently safeguarded?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What I know is the county is very transparent. There is a website that shows everything, all the bills, the vendors, what's been paid. I've actually sat in many of the county board meetings, and I was actually there when the external auditor presented the information, and the county has been very financially solvent. They received one of the second highest ranking. So I feel very confident and comfortable that with their transparency, with the external auditor that is mandated by the state, that the county's finances are done efficiently, and the information is available for everyone to review.
Thank you. Jorell, do you need me to repeat it?
Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was sort of long, so I don't blame you. I sometimes forget these. Considering the $50 million theft from Dixon, Illinois, which is Lee County in Illinois, what gives you the confidence that funds that Peoria County receives will be sufficiently safeguarded?
I'm confident in Peoria County Board efforts to safeguard and to have checks and balances. However, I believe you can't go wrong having more checks and balances. With a county auditor, it offers another layer of protection. I believe in this climate that we're in, where there's especially dealing with taxpayers' hard-earned money, we have to safeguard it like never before. And with $50 million being stolen, I believe we have to have intentional transparency. Intentional transparency, meaning that we can't just say, okay, we're going to bring in a third party to check this. We have to intentionally say, okay, let's have perhaps an auditor to give his or her insight as another layer when it comes down to hard-earned taxpayers' money.
Thank you very much. Jorell, stay with you. This is one that you don't ordinarily see at a county board discussion. It's should the Peoria County Board be involved in addressing climate change? If so, what specific proposals do you have to address this?
On the county board level, there is a level of commitment that we can have to our environment, whether it's policy, dealing with policy, or there can be something as storm drainage. There are certain things that we can have conferences on to be able to play a larger role with dealing with climate change. Climate change is inevitable. It is upon us. So how, as a county, how can we stay ahead of the curve? How can we not only be ahead of the curve, but how can we be more progressive in bringing at least an agenda to the point where we're saying, okay, this is what we can do countywide to prevent county climate control, to help in preventing negative impact on our climate.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille?
You want to repeat the question,
Yes, I
please?
certainly should the county board be involved in addressing climate change? If so, what specific proposal do you have that could address this issue?
Great. First and foremost, I am endorsed by the Sierra Club, and I am aware of some of the issues, and the county is involved in climate change. I know that even with the health department, the development of the new site, I know that they are looking at some things to help with the climate, solar panels or things of that nature. There are talks about that. I am also aware that the county is involved with or dealing with the issue of the landfill site, that the number 2 is getting full. We're moving on to number 3. The contract has changed with a different organization taking over. So there's some things that they were looking at in landfill site 3 to expand recyclable items as well in that area. And one of the things I think that's very important is just that we all stay abreast of the coal plant. I mean, the county didn't directly have involvement in that, but just the coal plant closure and what they're going to do with that waste site there to make sure that we stay on top of that. And I think we have many people on the county board seat and many community members that want to be sure that those things are addressed properly. So my goal would be able to enhance and expand or participate and make sure that we keep climate control first and foremost. I also serve on the Racial Justice Co-Commission with the city and the county, and I am on the subcommittee for climate and environment.
Thank you very much, Camille. And so we'll stay with you again. You guys are getting the drill down, probably better than me. This is, one of you or both of you mentioned solar farms or wind farms. So I switched the order and I put this right here. This is sort of a long one, so here we go. Peoria County currently has solar farms and individual properties with solar farms, but no wind farms yet. The board has approved testing and data collection in Millbrook, Princeville, and Brimfield townships, which could eventually lead to the development of the county's first wind farm. And by the way, I will mention that neighboring Tazewell County has both wind farms and solar farms. Do you believe the county should encourage the development of wind turbines and wind farms? Explain with possible advantages and disadvantages. Thank you.
Which one is it? Is it me?
Yes,
Okay.
it's you.
I just want to make sure.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Good.
As I addressed before, I do know that the county is involved in climate issues and challenges within the community, and they have put that, as a priority in many of the initiatives that they are doing forward. I would have to admit, I don't know all the details on the solar and wind portions of it, and I hope that everyone appreciates the fact that I don't know everything just yet. This will be a learning curve. But again, as being endorsed by the Sierra Club, I think it's very important that I actually stay abreast of these issues and concerns, because we all live here, we all breathe the air, and we all want clean air to breathe, clean water to drink from. And we know the effects of those things when they are not addressed early on. So again, it's important for me to be able to be educated on these items and to be able to keep that abreast and first and foremost in any of the issues and endeavors that the county starts to proceed with as well, or make sure that it stays at the forefront of conversation.
Thank you, Camille. Jorell?
I had the privilege of attending the National Black Chamber Conference here in Peoria, Illinois. It was the national and also the state. And at that conference, I sat in an energy panel discussion. I sat in on it, and they were talking about a just transition, a just transition. And the just transition is a buzzword that's going around in the energy community that's saying that as coal plants shut down, it's going to be the transition from to renewable energy. My question was, how is it going to impact those in District 2, below the hill? Ameren right now is starting to increase their bills. So in my district, that's going to hurt not only the business owners, but also people that live below in these already hard zip codes. So when we start talking about solar energy and wind, how attending this conference, the just transition, my question was, is it really just for those within my community? How can we make it more just and be able to present it to the county board where those in District 2 can benefit and it's not a burden?
Thank you, Jorell. So we'll stay with you, and I'm just going to switch. This is a how question. So how do you anticipate interacting with and listening to and representing the citizens' concerns in District 2? Go ahead.
Listening and interacting with those who are in District 2. District 2 has a very unique mixture. You have individuals from Moss Avenue all the way down to the South End. So there's definitely a balance, a difference in socioeconomic stances. The good thing is that I have a business in District 2. I am a barber. And in my barber shop, I cut all kinds of hair. My motto is, if you grow it, I cut it. So I'm dealing with people from Moss Avenue. I'm dealing with people from the South End. And while I'm talking to them, interacting with them, I'm learning their needs. It's like I have a free survey. So I'm asking them, okay, what do you need? What can you say about District 2? What can a county board member help you with? So I have my ear to those that we can really impact in District 2. So having a service industry available, we have access to all kinds of data. I tell you, we ask questions about energy. We ask questions about crime. We ask all of these questions. I get pretty good feedback. So in the service industry, we're able to interact and listen. And that's what I do for a living.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille, same question. Do you need me to repeat it?
Sure.
You do need me to repeat?
Yes, please.
It's a how question. How do you anticipate interacting with, listening to, and representing the citizens' concerns in District 2?
Awesome. Great. I guess I would proceed to, or kind of preference that question by how do I plan to, more so how am I? So again, like I said, I am participating and had the opportunity to be a student of the Citizen Leadership Academy. So we have been able to go around to the different services and be able to hear from like the coroner's office, went to the sheriff's department. And many of those areas actually have data and they are doing things, even at the corner level, you know, to try to determine some of those needs and services that the zip codes in particularly need. You know, what's important too is I always believe in go where the people are. So as you door knock, as you learn of the different events that are going on in those areas of the District 2, participating there, be there, let them know you are there to hear what their concerns are. At another forum on Tuesday, a resident of District 2 said that she's has some issues and challenges with the neighbors want to buy up their homes. And I actually have already found a resource that I'm going to relay to her to kind of steer her in that direction. So go where the people are. Let's make sure the people know who you are. And that way you can be able to interact and engage and listen to their concerns and find areas and ways to be able to help them. And that's what I want to do as county board member for District 2.
Thank you, Camille. And now we'll start with you. The next one is another how question, and that is, how will you collaborate, work with, or partner with other entities within Peoria County government? So the county board's working with all these other departments. What are some ways by which you would do that as an elected county board member?
Okay, so how would I collaborate with the other departments? You know, I feel in the area of that, I mean, obviously, in the committee meetings, the department heads report on a monthly basis for all of the departments that the county board is responsible for. So I think there's opportunities there to, you know, you can obviously have the opportunity to speak to those individuals early on, gather that information, ask questions before, you know, discussions are had or before decisions are made. You know, so another part of that is too, I want to just make sure we don't just interact with our county board folks and departments, but we again make sure we are communicating and collaborating with the other services within the community. So whether it be the city council folks, which I've reached out to many of them as well, and then just the services and agencies within the area. So I think it's important that we don't reinvent the wheel all the time, that we make sure that we know where things are and we tap into those resources that are available. So I do believe initially that those committee meetings will be very helpful. And then again, learning, you know, listening and then finding those support systems, because you got to surround yourself with people that will be able to help you and guide you along so that you make sure you have proper information to share.
Thank you, Camille. Jorell?
Collaborating with other departments is essential to the livelihood and progression of District 2. We could easily say, stand alone, you know, no man is by himself. So there has to be a concerted effort to be able to work with different groups to be able to bring the change to District 2. For instance, with the food desert. The food desert, our district has been sitting up for almost 7 years without a functioning grocery store. Without a functioning grocery store. So all of these years, where's the conversation about District 2 not having a grocery store? So by us being able to go outside of, we're going to have to deal with other probably even other municipalities to find working models that we can possibly implement down on the South End in District 2 to bring that change. We cannot do it on our own. And for 7 years, it hasn't been done. So it's going to be essential, necessary that we deal with other offices, city council, even the health inspectors. You know, everyone needs to sit at the table and say, how can this be done?
Thank you, Jorell. And we'll start with you again on this question. One of the most important responsibilities or authorities of an elected county board is the budget authority, responsibility for appropriations. So that you not only set the appropriation by law for the county board, you set it for every department, state's attorney, court system. everything. So this question is short, but it's heavy, and that is, what would be your budget priorities if you're elected as a District 2 Peoria County Board member?
My budget priorities, I mean, we have 127 million allotted for this fiscal year. We have two 24-hour facilities, the Juvenile Detention Center and also the jail. So I believe what I would cause, or what I would have as priority, number one would be economic development. That would be priority. And right under economic development, it would be safety. By us adding or supplementing more funds to small business and economic development, it improves everything. When the tax base grows, we're able to have better everything. It includes better quality of life, better jails, better everything when we have more income coming in. Secondly, when we have more allocated funds to safety. The previous sheriff had great ideas. Asbill had great ideas, but he did not have the funding to back his great ideas. And by him not having the funding, guess what? He ended up retiring. So those are two main areas that I would really allocate funds to. That would be my priority with the budget.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille, same question. What are your budget priorities, or what would be your budget priorities?
My budget priorities would be first, with the dollars from the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA dollars that they're utilizing for the health department, to make sure that those are spent efficiently and appropriately, which there's a plan in place, but obviously you need to make sure that the checks and balances are there. And the other portion of that would be probably the capital improvement portion of that. So obviously, there's a lot with the upgrade, the facility being done, with utilizing those services and bringing the coroner's office and the regional superintendent and those things all in one place. Making sure that even when we went to the coroner's office yesterday for our tour, I was very surprised to see some of the outdated things that they're utilizing, and which makes their job a little bit harder. So I think we need to just be prepared to make sure we keep things more efficient so that we do have our functioning departments able to function efficiently. So again, I would look at, making sure those ARPA dollars are spent wisely, correctly, efficiently with the building of the health department, and then also the capital improvement portion.
Thank you very much, Camille. So we'll start with you again, Camille, on this question. And so I'm thinking, Jorell, you may be piqued at my cards. I'm just kidding. Because the next question is, what is your position on economic development?
You sure you want me to go first? No. I mean, obviously, economic development is an important portion to what has happened in District 2. Like I said, first and foremost, priority is the population has been reduced. So it's very challenging to have and prosper with economic development when you don't have the people there to support it. So I think it's really important for us to not only focus on economic development, but we need to focus on the people. We need affordable housing. We need, the vast amount of empty lots and the homes that are dilapidated or unable to be inhabited. We need to be able to look at it as a bigger picture. So then obviously once we have the people there, or we work alongside in tandem of getting the people there in affordable housing so that they can be safe, they can actually be able to afford their home and feed and take care of their families, along with being able to spend their money within the community. So again, there's extreme diversity there when we have the downtown area that is flourishing a bit, but then we also have the other end of District 2 where things seem to not be as progressive. So we need to find that balance. And I think that's important to be able to find that balance and don't let part of it get lost.
Thank you very much, Camille. Jorell, same question on economic development.
I would compare economic development to a steam engine, a locomotive, a train. And so far, Peoria has stalled on the tracks. To be able to get this locomotion, this train back in motion, there's going to take some coal. There's going to take some things to get this engine, this train back going on these tracks. With Caterpillar gradually working its way out of this county, out of this city, look, we're going to have something in place to be able to subsidize this big puzzle piece that is missing out of our economic base. So with economic development, and as this train is stalled on the tracks, it's going to take small business owners to start making that thing chug a little bit more and start building momentum so Peoria can start back on the right track economically.
Thank you, Jorell. If you noticed, my boss came over here, Irene Pritzker, and she whispered in my ear that our time is moving really well. And
Wow.
you guys are both doing an excellent job of answering these questions, I might add.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. The last question that I have is a totally unfair question. It says, do you know what the current county property tax rate is? And what was the proposed rate last year and next year? I don't think there's one county board member that knows the answer to that. So I'm going to change the question because that's a moderator privilege. And I'm going to say, do you think the Peoria County tax rate, whatever it is too high, too low, or just right, and why?
Mhm.
And the first it would be Jorell.
Yes. The Peoria tax rate, we cannot afford for any taxing, for any more taxation. Period. We cannot afford it. When you look at the statistics, Illinois, there was a meme. A guy said, there's a business that I should be investing in. And he said, it's the moving business. He said, the moving business. He said, Peoria taxes, the tax burden is just too great. So how can, it has to stop. It has to stop. If anything, we have to have plans on how can we reduce the tax burden on the residents of not only Peoria, but the state of Illinois. We cannot afford for people to continue to move to Dallas, move to Atlanta. Our talent is leaving because they do not want to be burdened with the taxes, the taxation at the gas pump, the taxes with every single month that we have to pay. So look, I believe that we've peaked and we need to do everything we can do as county board members to make sure that there is no more taxation, the burden relief on its citizens.
Thank you, Jorell. Camille?
You want to repeat the question?
Yes, I
Or
will.
however you worded it?
I'm not going to repeat what they wrote, but I'll
Right.
repeat what I changed it. It says basically whatever that tax rate is currently in Peoria County, is it too high, too low, or just right, and why?
Was it referring to a particular tax rate, did you say before that, or just?
Well, that's a good point because and most people know, but I'll just share this, that each fund levy has its own rate. And then they put all those rates together and they have an overall general rate that you get on your tax bill. So for the purposes of this question, let's just talk about the overall
Okay.
rates. Yeah.
Great question. And I like the fact that we say, let's look at the overall rate, because one thing that we need to pay attention to is where are these tax dollars going? Me being a homeowner in obviously District 2, I actually built the home a little over 20 years ago in a Spring Grove subdivision. So I am invested deeply into the community of District 2. And I too have some pretty high property taxes, I might say. But I do know where those taxes go. I mean, you have to be able to fund the school districts. You have to be able to actually handle the general budget and, the methods of where those tax dollars are actually being expended out to. One of the things I know that the county hasn't increased property taxes. So that's a promising thing that hopefully we can continue to not push those home tax rates up at all. So I think that we need to, when we talk about taxes and are they too high, it really probably depends on the person that you're talking to, but what's important to know is where how those tax dollars are utilized. They're going to serve our community. They're serving our children in the schools, and make sure that we have someone in place to be sure that we are looking out for our constituents within our district and making sure that things are being taxed appropriately and there are no continual increases on those taxes to add to any additional burden to our taxpayers. But we definitely need to make sure that we can't just say, let's just stop taxes or cut taxes when what's going to happen.
Thank you very much, Camille. And so that ends the question portion. And now we're down to the last portion, which is closing statements. And this, you'll both have 30 seconds more. It'll be 2 minutes instead of a minute and a half. Am I right, timekeepers? Okay, good. I like to be right because I'm married and I usually am not right at home. But anyway, so I think what happened was Jorell went first for the opening and Camille second. So Camille, you'll start your 2 minutes for the closing.
Again, I just want to thank everyone for their time, the invitation to be able to participate. Thank you for those who are attending, listening, and watching. Again, I'm Camille Coates, running for County Board District 2. And what I want to leave with you today is I'm a strong believer in the community. I'm a native Peorian. Again, started out in Catholic school, St. Boniface, went to Manual High School, graduated from Illinois Central College and Bradley University, built a home in Spring Grove subdivision in District 2. My assets and skills would be a definite plus for as a county board member, being appointed to the Liquor Commission, serving on the Racial Justice and Equity Subcommittee, Climate and Environment. Knowing how to navigate the political arena is a huge plus because there's a sense of urgency for District 2. And just being able to go in there and hit that ground running, again, it's a learning process, but still being able to know some of those things that can kind of set those fundamentals in place and be able to make things happen. I have strong ties to the community. Again, I've served on many other committees and boards as well, from basketball committees to Sean Livingston and Mitchell J.J. Anderson. My children have grown up and been born and raised. I never left 61605. So one thing that I want to promise to you is that I will work hard. I will be accessible. You can hold me accountable, and I'll be fair. And what I tell my children all the time is people have forgotten kindness and common sense. So when you vote for Camille Coates for Peoria County Board District 2, you will get that kindness and common sense with a strong, tied community and have that lasting vested interest in District 2. And we want to be able to progress and see it grow.
Thank you, Camille. Jorell, closing statements.
Thank you all for your time, everyone that has made it there, just sacrificing to watch and all of the hospitality. Thank you to the moderator, the great questions. In closing, there's a tale of two Peorias. In 2019, there was an article on the wallstreetjournal.com, and they said this. They said that Peoria is ranked in the top 10 worst places for African Americans to live in 2019. So I was flipping through and reading another article, and as going up to where we are now, here it is, 2020, 2021, 2022 is progressing. You would think that Peoria would be in a better place. But now when you look at this census, it's saying that we've made it to the top 5 worst places for African Americans to live. District 2 is predominantly that demographic. But guess what? I look at it as the greatest opportunity to serve. I'm making it my business to sacrifice every fiber in my life to make Peoria District 2 a better district, a better city. It grieved me to the point where I was wakened by this notion of this city being such a great place for some folk, but being such a bad place for people like me. So in closing, make the clear choice. I am Jorell Glass. My name is Glass, so that means transparency intentionally. And I am indeed a servant leader. I am a servant leader. I lead with an open hand, and I lead with the hands and serve my people with my whole heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the candidates for participating in this forum this evening, and I'd also like to thank you for attending tonight's event, whether you're in the live audience or by streaming it on the League's YouTube channel. Also like to thank the Halt Center. What a fantastic facility this is. A reminder, the Peoria League of Women Voters participates with the Illinois League of Women Voters in the Illinois Voter Guide. This is a one-stop shop to find information about registering for voting, and the candidates running. Please go to www.illinoisvoterguide.org to find out three things. One, what district you live in after they've redistricted. Two, to register to vote. And three, to read survey responses from the candidates. Finally, please join me in thanking these candidates for being willing to run for public office. That's not easy. And for attending tonight.
Thank you.
Good night and drive safely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick reminder, early voting has started already. So